The marijuana stock we're exploring today is Cronos Group, or Cron. We're going to figure out if this is the best marijuana stock to invest in. Stay tuned. Please hit that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. You won't regret it. Right now we're trying to find the best marijuana stock to invest in long term. I've been doing a ton of research. It's all in the videos. I'm going to link in the top right hand corner in the playlist. Check out that playlist. It has all the past videos I've ever done, and it will get you up to speed. So basically, this is my list right here. We have about 6 stocks, and we're going to try to figure out which one's the best, which one is going to dominate the market long term. And right now we're looking at the Cronos Group. We're going to look into them and see what their numbers are, what they get into, what their products are, and what their potential is. And what I do first is I go to the website. And once I get to the website, I head to Investor Relations right here. Investor Relations is the best place to go if you're an investor. Makes sense, right? And once you go to there, I found this awesome presentation. We're going to go through this right now. And so as I dive through this Cronos slideshow, what you see is their growing capacity. So this shows you where they can grow, where their locations are, and where their headquarters is, all that stuff. And the coolest thing is they give you the breakdown of what each section is. So right up here in Ontario, we have about 40,000 kilogram capacity, and that's 300,000 square feet, and it's licensed, which is great. So this breaks down that and helps me understand what's happening there. But I'm not going to go into this whole thing. I'm just going to show you the growing capacity list I have on my slideshow. So this breaks down every company and what they can grow. As you can see, Cron in total can grow 150 kilograms. And this is not totally updated. This is about 2 months ago. So I'm going to continually update this and figure out where everything's been going. So Cronos, if you look at this map, it pretty much makes sense. If you add up all these numbers, it comes out to maybe 150 kilogram capacity. So 150,000. That's a lot. That puts it in the top 10. That puts it at number 6. And all we have to do now is figure out what they're doing next to put them above the list, make good connections, make good relationships, and how they can become the best company or the best investment. And we're just going to dive into the rest of this slideshow, try to find those clues. So this list just shows you where their capacity locations are and if they have distribution possibilities, and then if they have IP and brands. So all that means is I'm looking here to see if they can grow and distribute in the same place, which they can in most locations, which is good. That's what I want to see. So they have their Canadian licensed producers, Peace Naturals, and OGBC, and they have the capacity to grow and they have the capacity to distribute. That's great. So I really want to see the package of being able to do both. And it seems like on this chart, they can do that in almost every location. All around the world. Even down here, we have Australia, Israel, and then Germany down here and Poland. But they can't really grow down here. They're just distribution centers, which are fine as well. But I like to see both together when I'm looking at companies. And then down here, they just talk about each location a little bit more in depth, and I don't really find anything too useful here, so I'm going to skip through it and head to the products, which look very similar to a lot of the ones I've seen, like Tilray and CGC. These ones are very basic, easy to understand, easy to look at, and I do like that. They have simple colors. And if I head down here, we're just going to check out their other distribution/growing centers, and this one, OGBC, seems like the hub of their Canada center. They distribute strictly to Canada and they grow in Canada. So this one doesn't really head out to any worldwide centers, but that's where the other places come into hand. So to Cronos Israel and Cronos Australia, you can see that they have the capacity to grow a lot, and they also have the capacity to distribute almost anywhere in Europe and Asia. So right here, distribution of the Israel center heads out to Europe and Asia, which is great. I love how they can plug into those places from the Israel Center. Way out in Canada, unfortunately, I've seen most of the distribution centers in other companies be able to get everywhere. And this It does not happen with Cronos. It seems like they put their locations for distribution spread out across the world so they can distribute very easily and quickly to those countries. So this one also exports to 35 countries, and that's huge. And those are basically, like I said, in Europe and Asia. So their distribution through there seems efficient, and I like how they have it right over there. Very quick, very easy. They can fix problems if they come up. And if we head to Australia, they also have a large growing center, and they also distribute to different places. So they go a little bit more south, and now they can distribute to Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia. So they're getting into those places, and the great thing is that they're close to it. So I like that. With the other companies I've been looking at, they're basically in Canada, and they try to just ship it out everywhere from there. And I don't think that's sustainable and quick, and you can't penetrate the market easily with that. But with this company, I think their penetration will be a lot quicker and a lot more effective if they have their centers closer to the places that they want to distribute to, if that makes sense. So if they want to distribute to New Zealand, being in Australia helps a lot. And this is what you want to see when you look at companies that are growing a lot. You want to make sure they have distribution connections. So it looks like with Germany and Poland, they have two companies that they work exclusively with, and they have a 5-year deal with this company, Polbox. I don't even want to try to pronounce it, but basically it's a long-term agreement, and they're in 10,000 German pharmacies. And I bet you out there they're purchasing weed very quickly and with large amounts over there. So if we go down to Poland, they also have a 5-year agreement with this other firm called Dell Pharma, and that's great. So 5-year agreements, you just want to keep piling those up. So those are recurring revenues. They could just ship out products to them and just have them sell them easily. So the distribution channels, or what you want to see with these companies, and you want to see that happen long term and continually grow. So that's all I have on the slideshow. We're going to go on to one more thing, so don't leave. This is some great stuff coming up. So this is the latest and greatest with Cronos Group. This comes with December 2018. This is the most recent. This is between Cronos and Altria. This is a strategic partnership that just happened. And then if I scroll down, I'll just tell you what happened, how the transaction went through. And right here, you just see that Cronos Group had $16.25 per share offered to Altria for 45% ownership via partner placement. So this just means that the price of Cronos is about $10, and they offered shares of this stock at $16, which is great, which means that this stock is not going to go to, they're not going to start selling the stock unless it gets to 16 or probably higher, because honestly, they probably want to make money. So this is great because long term, I do think this stock is going to go back up to that $16 level. And that is great for the investors now, because the company that did put in this strategic partnership did see long-term value if they accepted this offer at $16.25 per share. So this does seem bullish to me for Cronos, and I just want to look into it, dive into it more, but this is an initial company overview, and we're just getting the pieces of the puzzle together. So we're going to put all the pieces on the table, and then soon we're going to put them together and figure out if this is the best investment. And I am super excited about this partnership that just happened, because if you look into it, you see Altria can do everything. They look like a brand company, but they also get into manufacturing. They get into global contracts, and then they get into consumer insights. So Altria is the all-in-one company. If you look at what they're trying to do with the company here, you can see that they're going to push this company to grow fast, develop a brand, products, and just integrate into markets quickly. And I do like this partnership. I'm not going to read into this all, but basically I'm just trying to show you that this is bullish for me in my sense, because a company just partnered with them at a higher value for the price, and they're just going to do the work to push this stock or push this company to be one of the great leaders. And then the last thing I want to dive into is just this last article on the numbers that came out with Cronos. So basically, we had $3.4 million come in the second quarter of 2018. The third and fourth quarter, I'll have to check that out later, but this was a 400% increase. We've been seeing 400% increases like all the time with most of these marijuana companies. This is not unusual. And what this does is we're going to check out how it affects the price to sales, because that's going to help us value it to the other companies and see if it's a deal from that metric. But basically, that 400% increase is, again, very bullish. The numbers are increasing, and the great thing is they are profitable. They have net income of almost $1 million. This is up 300%. So that's the money they can use to reinvest in the company, buy new companies, acquisitions, and just do great things. So this is great for the investor. They could maybe pay out a dividend. You want to see profitable companies, and it's hard to find that with these marijuana companies, which makes me very interested in this one. And then down here, it just says their assets and all that stuff. So basically, calculate the price to sales right now live in front of you. I'm going to pull up my calculator, and we have 3.4 million in the second quarter. I'm just going to do a rough price to sales, multiply that by 4. It's probably going to be within 10% of what actually happened. So within 2018, they brought in $13 million. And they have a market cap of 1.8 billion today. So 1.8 divided by, again, this is billions, so I'm going to put this number in billions as well. So this is 13 million. And this puts their price to sales, if I press enter, at, let's try that again, 138. So let's compare it to what's out there right now. If I type in 138, we can see that puts us in the higher range of what's out there. We have ACB at 120, CGC at 115. So 100 to 150 seems to be the range of price to sales. So if you want to get a good discount, you might have to understand what is out there and how they're being valued, because right now this is very large to invest in a company that has price to sales this high. This implies huge long-term growth, huge short-term growth, and this isn't sustainable long-term. So you have to be careful when you're putting your money into something with the price of sales this high. So I'm not a fan right now of the metric that came out, this 138. I would like to see this drop down a lot, maybe to the 80s, maybe to the 50s. But this is just not the metric we're getting in the market. We have Afria at 27, and this company is just under a lot of scrutiny, so maybe that's why it's a great deal. But unfortunately, you're not going to see under 100 too often with this industry. So that's tough to see. It's just not a great deal compared to the other companies, but there's a lot of good things happening with it. So hit me up if you're bullish on this company, Cronos, or if you're not. I'd just like to hear which pot stock's your favorite and which one you like to have for the next 20 years. This is Market Moves signing off. Peace. For more information on the Market Mover Indicator, free consultation talks, and courses, head to the website marketmovesmatt.com. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check out the latest and popular videos I have uploaded.